Do you know where we get our creativity? Stay tuned to find out on this edition of Do You Know? When you talk about the theory of evolution in your science classes and how humans evolved from bacteria over billions of years, have you ever stopped to wonder why only humans have the gift of creativity? Even secularists acknowledge the uniqueness of humans and their extraordinary abilities. In her book review of The Runaway Species, Allison Beard wrote an article in the Harvard Business Review entitled Game-Changing Inventions: What Makes an Idea Revolutionary?, where she asked the following questions. Why don't cows choreograph dances? Why don't alligators invent speedboats? These are questions that Anthony Beard, a composer, and David Eagleman, a neuroscientist, ask and immediately answer in the first chapter of their new book, The Runaway Species. Animals can't match human ingenuity, they explain, because of an evolutionary tweak in the algorithms running our brains. We're different because we see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. We think, what if? And can therefore create our own futures. And what an existence we've fashioned so far. Language and accounting, the wheel and the plow, vaccines and medicines, cinema and skyscrapers, satellites and smartphones. An evolutionary tweak in the algorithms running our brains? Seriously? That's where our creativity comes from? Let's consider a few other points of view as we seek to answer this very important question. In his book, Everybody Can Know, Francis Schaeffer made the following observations to young students as he encouraged them to use their God-given talents for His glory. God made us so that we could communicate with each other by talking and writing, singing and painting. God made us so that we could have lots of ideas and then choose what we would make so that other people could see our ideas. No other being has this capability. God is a fantastic artist, scientist, architect, landscape gardener. He is a wonderful father to have. He is the creator of all things. Any of you who are studying in school know that many are being taught that everything started with just atoms or energy particles, just bits of particles flying around. This theory makes it impossible to explain where personality came from. That means it makes it impossible to explain where you and I came from. Where did thinking, acting, feeling, having ideas, choosing, making things, loving, writing, painting, making music, all the things that people do come from? Schaeffer's answer? Not an evolutionary tweak in the algorithms of our brain. It's because we are made in the image of God. We are destined to be the creator of images and stories. As Richard B. Hayes writes, it's in our flesh and bones. God is the great artist who conceived and constructed the intricate cosmos, the sculptor who shaped the human form out of the mud of the earth. God is the poet who imagined Israel's improbable epic drama, election, fall into slavery, exodus, and return to the land of promise, and then inspired psalmists and prophets to sing the story and to reimagine it for later generations, living new chapters in the drama of exile and return. Consider Johann Sebastian Bach's The Passion of St. Matthew. It has been referred to as the supreme cultural achievement of all Western civilization. Or how about jazz great Duke Ellington, the greatest jazz composer and band leader of his time? Or the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, who Rolling Stone magazine rated the #1 singer of all time in 2010 with this amazing tribute. You know a force from heaven, you know something that God made, and Aretha is a gift from God. When it comes to expressing yourself through song, there is no one who can touch her. She is the reason why women want to sing. All of these accomplished artists were and are amazingly creative, passionate, and thought-provoking musicians. And as image bearers of God, we don't have to be a Bach to be capable of wonderful creative work. In his book, The Prodigal Prophet, theologian Timothy Keller declares the doctrine of common grace is the teaching that God bestows gifts of wisdom, moral insight, goodness, and beauty across humanity, regardless of race or religious belief. James 1 says, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights. That is, God is ultimately enabling every act of goodness, wisdom, justice, and beauty, no matter who does it. That means that all good and great artistic expression, skillful farming, effective governments, and scientific advances are God's gift to the human race. As we go through chapter 5, we will see that this amazing creative ability has existed since the beginning of human history, a very different story than what we have been led to believe over the years. And that is good news. Don't hesitate to email me your questions at doyouknow@idleadershipforum.org. Thanks for joining us, and remember, never be afraid to share what you know, but always do it with gentleness and respect, treating others as fellow image bearers of God.